Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by Sportsman's Warehouse, Counts Marine, the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, and Avery Superstore.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray and what we call the fastest 90 minutes in outdoor radio programming. Believe it or not, we are in the last segment of today's show. Hello to all you folks in Jackson, Tennessee on News Talk 101.5 in Brownsville, on 1520 AM and 93.3, and of course ESPN 790 here in Memphis, Tennessee. We have anxiously waited for this final segment because it's one of our favorite people. She has been on this show several times, and we've kind of watched her career blossom from the cowboy action to where she is today, one of the nation's top female shooters, and recently at the U.S. Practical Shooting Association Area 7 Championship, she didn't do badly. She took first place in the ladies' open division, shooting, and also fifth in the overall competition. And who best to talk to is Jessie Harrison. Good morning, Jessie.
Good morning, Larry. How are you?
Oh, it sounds like you're right here with us. That sounds good. Would y'all move over and let Jessie sit down? Okay. She's right here with us and everything. But let's bring us up to date. Jessie, I know that you are a busy person. Could you ever, let's look back, and I asked you this, I think I've asked you before, cowboy action, when you started out, what goals did you set? Where did you think you would be at this time?
Wow, I honestly did not. I couldn't have even dreamed where my career would have taken me back, starting in my cowboy days.
Yeah.
From the beginning of that, from my first match, I just knew that I wanted to shoot. I didn't know how or if it would even be possible that I could live off of it, but that's all I wanted to do. And I just started setting goals that were obtainable, but also enough to push and motivate me to see progress. And they all aligned with the end result being that I would be able to shoot for a living. So I just started with that and, just kind of started knocking a rung off the ladder each time and worked my way up.
And what was your cowboy action name? What was your name?
Jasmine Jessie.
That's it, Jasmine Jessie. I saw Aladdin the other day, and Jasmine was on there. And I said, where does this name ring a bell to me? And I'm sitting there watching Will Smith and Aladdin. And I know this is off the wall, but she knows I am that way. But I said, I know a Jasmine. And then I could remember now. It's all come back to me. Well, I know that 11 times the top woman at the Steel Challenge World Speed Shooting Championship, 16 times lady category winner at the Handgun Championships, Bianchi World Cup. I could go through these things, and Dave Gabbard is my shooting man on the other end of the line. And you hear these things, and you know that Taurus loves you. You're the captain of the Taurus team. So, Dave, what question can you ask her? No, we've lost Dave. Oh, too bad. I was going to ask the question anyway. So I was going to ask. I was going to ask. Yeah. I was going to ask the question anyway. So talk about this recent victory.
So this recent match was a practical shooting match, which is USPSA. And for listeners who might not know the difference, USPSA is where you have field courses.
Yes.
Your targets are cardboard, silhouettes, or steel. And you basically have to navigate your way through the field course and shoot your targets. And it's like running and gunning. It's a lot of fun.
It is, yeah.
And an area is just a region, and Area 7 is the Northeast region. And I've never been up in that neck of the woods, never shot that championship, and I just wanted to kind of change up some of the matches and go different places, and so I decided to go up there. It was held in New Hampshire, and it was a great match. They had very challenging stages, but they were still enjoyable, because sometimes you can just get lost in the weeds with trying to make a match challenging enough to where it's just not fun anymore, but they had some really, really good stages, great people up there. I just enjoyed the championship, and that was my first practical match for the year. I've been shooting Steel Challenge all March leading up into that.
Yeah.
So it was a good way to start off the practical matches for the shooting season.
Well, you look at these things, and we got Dave on there now, and and I want to let Dave, because he was wanting to ask you a couple of questions, but I know you've been all over the world, France, Rhodes, Greece, and places like that, and it's taken you to places you never thought you would ever be. And I look at this, and I know that you have so many fans. It's obvious because when we posted you were going to be on, my website lit up because you have, and not just female fans. I can tell you that. You got some other ones out there too, like me, that are those kind of fans. So the advice that you would give. We just got off the phone with one of the top fishing guides in this Mid-South area, and he says no young person wants to be a fishing guide anymore. Talk about your role as maybe leading other females into this, what I think is the fastest growing part of the sports outdoor industry.
It is. The female growth in shooting sports has been the fastest growing category for a couple of years now, and I don't ever want to toot my own horn, so I'm going to say that there are so many women that have contributed to that by being successful, being good role models, and just carrying themselves in a respectable way within our industry. And that gives these younger girls that are coming up and learning how to shoot, and it gives them someone to look up to, and it gives them some goals to set. When I first started shooting, be it cowboy or when I transitioned to the modern disciplines, I had some amazing women to look up to. And that's who I set myself to obtain to be. And that's all I want to do for the shooting sports as well, is I want to leave it better than I found it. Yes. And I want to be someone that this next generation can look to and say, that's what I want to be and that's what I want to do. So that's always in the forefront of my mind when I'm working and traveling and competing, is being approachable by these younger shooters, or just any shooter for that matter, being approachable and being a face for the companies that I represent, but then also being someone that they can look to and say, you know what, that's what the shooting sports is about. And there's so many other people out there that do that as well. I would never say that it is me alone that has done anything of that nature. There's so many women out there that have just really changed the face of shooting, and it's incredible to watch it grow and expand. Yeah. Because I had women to look up to, but there weren't that many. There was a couple, but now it has just grown like crazy. It has, yes. And Dave Gabbert, you're back with us on here, and I know you've got a question. I know from your love of shooting, particularly long-range rifles or whatever, muzzle loaders, whatever it might be. What would you like to ask? Here's your chance.
Well, I think it's kind of special. I affectionately call this the Queen of Steel. You know,
he calls you the Queen of Steel. I know he wanted to get you in there. Okay, go ahead, Dave.
I thought it kind of everything for winning it. You know, going back into the home ground, down Covington, Georgia.
Yeah, Covington, Georgia.
Being a registered trap shooter, I shot many years in the Georgia State Championships. I always liked that gun club down there at Covington.
That is my home club, and I grew up on that range.
Really?
It has a special place in my heart. South River Gun Club.
Oh, okay, Dave.
Yep.
And it's a really nice
That's where I fired my first shot.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, and I know that. Didn't you back in April compete there?
I did.
460 competitors? You got to be kidding.
It's such a big match now. The U.S. Steel Nationals.
Yeah.
That's the match. So it's the National Championship for Steel Challenge. It's now held at the South River Gun Club in Covington, Georgia. Had, like you just said, 400-plus shooters, and so many of those shooters are rimfire shooters, junior shooters, just kids, getting into the sport, and now they're just eat up with it. So,
well, that's what Dave is talking about, and Dave, you told me about the concentration involved in this, and
it's the concentration and everything, and to do, I got to give her, accolades to do, to win the level, to rise to the level in her sport, grandmaster, that's no little bitty achievement right there. That takes a lot of dedication and a lot of ammo.
Thank you.
I know she's familiar with ammo, and we could.
Oh yeah.
And
I'm actually sorting my ammo in the garage right now.
Oh, you are. Well, I can just visualize that right now. There you are, sorting your ammo. Again, we're talking to Jessie Harrison, Tara shooting team captain, first place in the ladies' open division at the U.S. Practical Shooting. We've got a couple of minutes here.
I have a question I'd like to ask.
All right, ask her, Gene.
All right. This is Gene Smith. I'm the Hunter Ed Guru, they call me.
Hunter Education
They
instructor.
had a life story of Annie Oakley on TV the other day, the real story of Annie Oakley and what she went through. It is really remarkable.
Well, there you
I'll
go.
have to find that and watch it.
Yeah, you need to look it up. It's a remarkable. That's the first time I ever heard the true story. It's usually the TV version, you know, they play it up. But she went through a lot because she was a female.
Well,
I can imagine back in those days.
It was awesome.
Well, that's why she has people that she looks up to. Before we let you go, concentrate. Let me ask you real quickly here. We're gonna let you go now. When you're there and all this stuff is going so fast, how do you block out what's around you? How do you stay focused during the match?
A lot of that is just having a really strong mental game. I think that's the separator between the top shooters and everyone else, because I mean you can train yourself to do anything physically with enough time and determination.
Right.
I think the separator is the mental game, because so much of shooting is mental. Like you said, controlling the nerves, blocking everything out, just being completely in the moment. I mean, we can all go through the motions and make the shots, but when it comes down to it, you have to do it under pressure, and I think that's where that's what, defines the winners. But that's a tough question to answer, because some people just have it.
Yes.
And then some people put a lot of effort into honing that aspect of it by doing a lot of self-help books or, mental coach training. I've never done anything to that degree.
You've never done that?
I've never had a mental coach,
really?
Other than my dad, and I attribute all of my mental game and shooting skill to my father and my mother. She's a strong woman. She's probably the one behind the curtain that doesn't get enough recognition for everything that I am and that I've done. But both of them, my mom and dad, and my dad is a competitor as well, so
yes,
he understands. The pressures, and he just has a really strong mental game in that aspect. And then my mom has just shown me how to be strong but graceful, and I contribute so much to them. And I've read some self-help mental game books. My favorite is probably it's called Mind Gym.
Yeah,
and it's very, very informative. It takes a lot of athletes or scenarios and explains what is happening, what the mental aspect should be, and then kind of talks you through how to do that and how to repeat it so that you can practice it, and then under match conditions, hopefully that becomes your go-to.
I need to read that.
It's a great book. You'll really like it.
I need to read that to help me be mentally fit for this show.
I know, it's tough. It's tough.
I have a lot of trouble doing that.
I had to take a baby aspirin to get on
it's
here.
good to talk to the Queen of Steel herself, okay? Jessie Harrison, thank you again for being on Outdoors with Larry Ray. One of our favorites. Nothing but success for you, girl, okay?
Thank you so much. Y'all take care.
All right, Jessie Harrison. All right, we got Nick.
No,
I hope you've learned
know
to
what
sit
I
down.
always like,
He's talking now. Yeah, go ahead.
About Jessie, the several times I've met her, she's always approachable.
She's approachable,
She's approachable. She'll talk with you.
Yep.
And I've been around some of the elite shooters that look at you like,
oh yeah,
I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, well, she's been in the studio here, in fact, at one time, so we can say that. Nick Getzky, thank you. Hope it wasn't too boring for you.
No, it was fantastic.
You learned the interaction of Gene Smith.
Yes, sir.
We're getting ready to go with you in just Dave Gabbard, thank you. Be
Okay,
careful.
If I get I'm covered with mayfly.
I know you're covered with puppy dogs, too. All right, one more. Before I say the closing, as always, do you have any words of wisdom for us, Gene Smith?
Oh, yeah, I remember, we talked about my wife last week. We used to fish a whole lot.
Yeah?
We was on this lake one time. We was catching all kind of fish and everything. So I got a magic marker out, and I put an X on the boat to tell where we were so we can come back the next day. She said, "You dummy, we may not get the same boat next time."
Thank you, Gene Smith. And as Larry Ray, as I always say, it doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport. And what else?
God bless
the
USA.
USA.